Welcome to Board Gems. In this video, I'll be comparing two editions of a not very famous game. How many people are going to do this video, huh? A comparison of the two editions of Dolmen, aka Die Dolmengötter, designed by Thomas Odenhoven. The original edition came out in 2005 on the left. The one on the right is the 2015 10th anniversary edition that was actually crowdfunded in Germany. The publisher, which is the same for both, Eggert, said, hey, we have this old game from 10 years ago. We think it's pretty great, but it could use an update. And it did fund, and so we have this 2015 edition. I kind of like the original proposed cover a little bit more. On the back of the box, you can see the old Eggert logo. Interestingly, the newer, not newest, but the newer logo uses the same shape, but has the fox in the middle, and I don't know what the significance of that shape is. The one on the left has a straight down view of the board, which is kind of funny because the board image I don't think is a great selling point personally. Whereas on the right, you look at that and go, okay, now there's pieces on the board and there's some art and oh, that looks pretty good. You can kind of see a gameplay state. The original edition was German only. This edition on the right, the newer edition, is German and English. Both have the same profile as a standard square Ticket to Ride size box. Dolmen is the same depth as the Ticket to Ride size boxes. The original is a little bit thinner, almost thin enough that you can squeeze it into a Kallax cube along with 4 regular sized boxes, but it's a really tight fit. What you see on the side of the old box here is the same on all 4 sides. It's a really plain side, assuming that you don't have the game facing outwards like some YouTubers do. There's not much on the side of this box that makes you want to play it. It just blends in with the other games. We do have this slogan here, Druiden müssen gönnen können, which translates to Druids must be able to indulge. Maybe it loses something in translation. Certainly, it's more melodic in German. I don't know if the original had an insert. My copy does not have an insert. It does come with this really nice big drawstring bag, which presumably is intended to store all the wooden bits, though I personally like to sort the bits by player color. Dolmen 2015 has a pretty standard white cardboard insert. This is honestly the way to go. Simple cardboard insert, everything in baggies. The box does not need to be as big as it is. You can see all the empty space there. Here are examples of some player pieces. The original played up to 5 players. You see there's 5 colors. There's only 4 in the new edition. Consensus on Board Game Geek seems to be don't play it with 5. But actually they did intend to do a 5-player expansion. It was an optional add-on, I think, during the crowdfunding campaign. You have the numbered pieces 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the back. The original had the numbers printed on. The newer ones are stickers. Apparently, just printing them directly on the wood was a stretch goal that was never reached. Standard meeples in the original, slightly taller pawns in the new edition, and they have a separate score marker. In the original, you'd have an extra meeple that you would use as a score marker. The pieces to the side of the meeples are called stones in the game, and they're left behind by the meeples, the druids that are moving around the board. So you can see how tall the stones, quote unquote, are. In the old edition, they're as tall or maybe even slightly taller than the meeples. But you're picking up the meeple, so it makes sense for the meeple to be a little taller than the stones. Look at the boards. Topographically, they are the same. You can laugh about how plain the original is, but it's clear, isn't it? And of course, all the spaces, the 3, 4s, and 5s, which are squares, hexagons, or octagons, are all the same size. And what they did in the new edition was they tried to map it out onto what looks like a planet, because in this game you can loop around in all directions. You'll see on the edges they have little rune symbols. And for one move, you can simply move from one rune to the matching rune. So it's like the whole board just loops around in a sphere almost. So they tried to give that spherical vibe in the new edition. It works. I'm not 100% sure I prefer to play it though. It's a little odd. The rune symbols are much smaller, although they are color-coded to make them a little easier to find. And the numbers are tiny, so they don't distract much from the art, I suppose. From a playability point of view, I prefer the old edition, but that's a hard sell if you're trying to convince other people to play it. Thanks for watching. Remember, old games like Die Dolmengötter doesn't stop being good because newer games come out. New videos soon, I promise. Take care.